5-second break so I know where to cut it. Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Click Click Play podcast. I'm your host, Ben, and returning this week from last week's Internet Blues is Jordan.
Yeah, boy!
Have you got your interwebs all sorted?
Yeah, it was working the following morning.
Oh, typical. All the pipes your pipes are unclogged now.
Yeah, technically it was working. Funnily enough, if you started recording about 9, around about then, the light changed on the router to the kind of the right light. But I reset the router and then it seemed to be working, but nothing wanted to connect to it. So I don't know.
Do you always
a nightmare?
Do you always keep your router was it against a wall or on something? I remember thinking that's probably not a healthy place to keep a router.
It's because it's a new build house. It's got like BT broadband or whatever kind of already in there, and that's just where the open reach box thing is. So that's just where it needs to go. That's kind of the coat cabinet bit as you enter the house, So that's where it is. But I've got like extender plugs around the house as well, just to make sure the Wi-Fi reaches about. So I don't know if that complicated the situation, but we're back on form now. We brought, we're at a level that couldn't be beaten, so we have to bring ourselves down a little bit, which is why returning our regular host. Returning.
You're talking to someone who's never listened to this podcast.
But this is the reincarnation of the Pretty Flycast, Arnie.
Okay.
You were on there.
Spiritual successor.
Yeah.
Introduce me, Ben. Introduce me.
This
I have a question.
Knows so much about video games that, he keeps getting vibrations on his phone from Scrabble that he's playing at the moment. This is Arnie Craven.
Hello. Contrary to Ben's big up, I really I used to play many video games, now no longer do. But my question is for you, Mr. Host.
I thought you were going to say something else then.
If Jordan's internet wasn't working last week, and as I say, I've never listened to this podcast, was it just you talking to yourself for an hour?
No, it wasn't. We were joined by the amazing Manny, who gave away a $20 Steam card. It was like a proper radio show, a proper podcast.
Why did he have a discount card to give away?
Oh, didn't he? He volunteered it. So he's a kind person, Arnie. They're not all cold-hearted like you.
And okay, that's good. And did somebody accept the prize?
Yes, we had a guy who I'm not sure if he's listening today, but he accepted the prize. It all worked for him. He's somebody that didn't have a PayPal account. I didn't think those people existed.
I am suspicious of that person. His name wasn't like B. Ostwick or Ben A, was it? Or J. Rees.
I can't comment. But all I'm saying is that
Benjamin Bostwick.
the next to me was a laptop that was working. Oh, we've got a comment already. Ami okay me says, Bennis, you suck. How does
Got a point.
Yeah. Okay.
He does.
He knows.
He does.
I won't ask Arnie how he knows. Arnie and Jordan, how have your weeks been?
Who's going first?
Arnie first, let's say. Yeah, I should really be
you first, Jordan. You first. I'm polite in that way, unlike Ben.
Okay. My week's been good. I had an horrific hangover on Monday, but after that it all kind of went uphill. And it culminated... Well, I played loads of video games, which we'll talk about later, but then it culminated today in my nephew's first birthday party, which was... I was really looking forward to it, and then you realise that you're just going to spend 4 hours surrounded by kids. So it was horrific.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah.
But
there was no booze whatsoever. It was in a not only a church hall, but a Catholic church hall.
I think I'd burn up walking in there.
Yeah.
What about you, Arnie? Have you been doing anything this week? I saw you pass your driving test, so congratulations.
Thank you. I felt it was time. I've spent the week and the weekend particularly redecorating my apartment. As those of you who follow me on Instagram I imagine the overlap between people who listen to this and people who follow me on Instagram is nil. But for anyone who happens to fall into that very, very small section of a Venn diagram, they will have seen that I've been redecorating my apartment.
I know. I saw you got the. Didn't you get a toaster and a frying pan the same colour or something like that?
You wouldn't get a frying pan the same colour as a toaster. That's lunacy. Lunacy.
What's the matching
toaster
thing?
And a kettle.
Oh,
However, stop interrupting because I've got a marginally funny anecdote here.
Go on then.
In that whilst at some point in the past, one of the blinds in the apartment came off whilst I was vigorously pulling at the cord.
Why were you doing
euphemisms. So this weekend I decided to bite the bullet and fit a new blind. So I went to B&Q and bought a roller blind and got my little hacksaw out and cut it down. And I went to mount it on the window and I jumped up whilst wearing some jeans. Not very tight jeans, Ben. Why you ask?
Annie, I've seen you in very tight jeans.
The windowsill is quite high, and I unfortunately tore a very large hole in the crotch of the jeans whilst jumping up onto the windowsill about half an hour before I was due to go out for lunch. And as I'm decorating, I had no spare trousers.
Oh, so how was the lunch?
I wore a very long coat. Yep.
So nobody had any idea.
No. I made a point of telling everyone.
Oh yeah, you have to do that, don't you? Otherwise, because then it's just awkward if anybody sees it.
Exactly, because if I hadn't have told my lunch companions, they would have thought I was trying to expose myself to them, and that's just not cool.
No, it's not.
It's certainly far too early in the day for that sort of thing.
Oh well, I've missed these anecdotes, Arnie. I've got to say.
Yes.
I think the podcast has been.
I'm deeply disappointed that you didn't like my Facebook photo of jeans with a very large hole in the crotch.
Well,
I'd have thought that'd have been right up your street.
Well, I think if I'd liked that, people would have talked. I just can't be having
Let them talk, Ben. Let them talk.
Okay,
the things you and I have seen together.
Oh, that's true. Anyway, so Jordan, have you been playing any video games?
Loads of video games, Ben.
Oh.
Loads of them.
Namely... Oh, yeah?
Yeah, me too. So I think it probably technically wasn't this week, but the week before I did finally finish Mass Effect Trilogy.
Oh.
Maybe for the last time. I'm not going to talk about it because I've talked about it so much, but yeah, finished that. Amazing. And then subsequent to that, I have played Yakuza 0.
Oh, I've heard really good things about that, but I've no idea what it's about.
Yeah, it's always been a bit of a question mark for me. I've heard a lot about it from like imports and the few versions that have reached kind of the US and the UK. But this one is the first one on PS4. It's actually a remaster of a PS3 game. Mm-hmm. And as the name suggests, Yakuza 0, it's my understanding is that it's a prequel to the original game.
Okay.
Very Japanese. It can be mental at times in terms of the storytelling and the content, but the core of the game I loved. It's basically you play as a Japanese gangster. The setup is that you're kind of a low-level gangster who gets framed for killing a civilian, and apparently that's a bad thing to do if you're a Japanese gangster. The mafia group around you then kind of makes moves to take you out. And it's you rallying against that and unraveling a conspiracy, I guess. The core stuff, the core story stuff is really, really good. The cutscenes are kind of, you could always imagine it in a Japanese language film, and the actual audio in it is fully Japanese as well. It's all subtitled. They haven't kind of redubbed it in English, which I really appreciated. And the core gameplay is hand-to-hand combat, which is really arcadey but really visceral.
Sounds quite interesting. Is the story good?
Yeah, I think the main story is really good, and I'd love to play this as a 10 to 12 hour game that just goes through the main campaign. Mm-hmm. The problem for me was that this is actually an open world game.
Okay.
there's a kind of a Tokyo-esque mini city suburb that you can walk around and do little submissions, and that stuff got old quick for me.
Yeah.
Some really, just really weird Japanesey side story stuff that I won't really go into now. But it kind of took away the flow of the game, and you clearly need to do it to not only level up, but also to progress the story to get to the next kind of major milestone. And that stuff just really turned me off. So for now, I've put that game away. Because I really like the main stuff, but everything around it was turning me off.
Yeah.
I also played the new Tales game.
Ah, which one?
I forget how you say the name of it.
Tales
Tales of no, it's one that begins with B. Yeah, it came out like within a couple of weeks. Again, very Japanese, very traditional JRPG. Seems a little bit overrated to me. It was okay, but feels very low budget to me. Very repetitive. Yeah, it was decent. If I had nothing else to play and I really just fancied tucking into a traditional Japanese RPG, I'd probably give it more time. But got pretty old pretty quick for me. So again, I've put that aside. Japanese is the theme for this week for me, I think, because one game that I haven't put down, and I don't think I'll be putting down for a while, and I know you've played this, is Neo.
Yeah, Neo.
Holy shit, Ben. I love that game.
Yeah, and what do you... I don't know, have you seen my tweets about it?
Yeah, you seem to appreciate it too.
It's brilliant. It's amazing. It's... although that I'm currently stuck, so I'm going to grind a bit to get some... to be decent at it.
Yeah. So that kind of surprised me that you didn't instantly kind of repel off it, because I know you didn't like Bloodborne. I don't think you played Dark Souls, and this is very much of that ilk.
Yeah.
So what is it about this?
I feel like you're actually rewarded when you die. Okay, if you go back and you can collect your XP. I think that's the only thing you collect, isn't it? But when you do that, you feel rewarded because you can go there and get it back, and you can still level up, and you can still make a difference even if you die. If you've defeated a few things, or you've pushed over some water on some fire, or you've unhooked a door, then you can still go back to wherever the furthest point is you are. So you're not actually punished, which I think in Bloodborne, I don't know about Souls, but Bloodborne was the same, where you can open certain gates for easy access in the future.
So I was going to chip in there. Everything you just said is the same as the same as the Soul series.
The thing is, with Bloodborne, I got up to a bit where you had to climb up. We went up to a bridge, and I think there were like two big hounds or something that came at me and killed me. And it was about 15 minutes of traveling to get to that point. So I was like, right, fuck that. Whereas with this, you can sneak past. I never feel like I've wasted time, which I did feel like doing in Bloodborne a lot.
I've heard quite a lot of people say about Neo, because obviously the comparisons are obvious. Yeah. But I've heard a lot of people say that Neo is harder. That's complete bullshit. With Neo, I've probably died a handful of times in comparison to the amount of time that I've put into the game. With the way that the Souls games actually play in the first maybe 5 to 10 hours, is that you need to die to kind of get that upgrade loop going.
Yeah.
And you just slowly press into the game and kind of unravel it slowly. It's very slow and methodical, whereas this, you can, it's very fast-paced arcade action. It's nowhere near as punishing, and the bosses are not as hard either. So
I don't know.
That's well, they're hard, but they're not. So far, anyway. Obviously, I haven't finished the game yet, but they're not as intimidating as the Souls stuff, and that's not taking anything away from it. I think this game was going to get probably more mass market appeal than the Souls games ever did, and for good reason.
I'm currently stuck on the boss with the massive balls.
Nice.
He keeps throwing his balls at me and killing me.
Yeah. I should come and help you now, because the good thing about this is that the online mode is way more transparent than the Souls stuff. Souls is the Souls games and Bloodborne are very, very, whichever way you want to look at it. You can either say they're very artistic, or you could say they're very pretentious, whichever way you want to look at it. But they try to ravel all of the gameplay mechanics into some kind of mythology and lore, and sometimes that can feel a little bit opaque. This game is very much just saying, look, if you want to co-op, you go co-op. And it's just giving you all the online functionality up front. I've already jumped in to help some people, and I've had people come in to help me with very little effort and very little explanation.
The thing is with that, I found a couple of those cups that you have to use to summon somebody in, But
Yeah.
but I think I did it by killing a couple of the people who'd already been downed. You know, like the people who'd previously died in an online game,
Yeah.
and you can get them.
Yes.
So I got those couple of cups. But the first time I got it, we got so close to finishing off that boss with the big balls. Then the guy died, and then I got one hit killed with something right at the very end. And then he disappeared. Then the second time the guy died pretty much instantly, and I was just there on my own thinking, well, that was a total waste of a cup. But at the moment I can't choose anybody, or I can't summon a friend, because I don't know if it's I haven't been at the level select map yet, or if it needs to be done by somebody else who's already completed it to invite me, or I'm not quite sure.
The game's got a lot of mechanics, and a lot of them just kind of slowly unlock as you go through the game. I would probably recommend for now, the game is still teaching you a lot of stuff if you can.
Yeah.
I would just try and solo yourself through it.
I've been getting to about 80% of his health. That's the furthest I've got down.
Once you get that guy, have you got him so that he kind of drops the ball stuff? So he doesn't. So it's not attached to him anymore.
No, not solo. I have in.
Yeah, so once you get into that point, it's a lot easier because he's not doing that kind of swingy attack, which takes out a lot of the room.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm
you'll
leveling
get
up a
it.
bit though. I'm leveling up. I'm level 12 now.
So the key thing to remember, and it's the same in the Souls games. You know, you can in this game, you press the X button to roll.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've been doing lots of rolling. Well, lots of jumping out.
So during the roll, you've got certain frames of the animation where you're invincible, where any attack will just go through you. That's essentially the key to beating the difficult bosses, is that you roll as something is about to hit you, and you totally avoid that.
Oh, here's block, isn't it? If you block, you can absorb it, but then you often get sent flying on your back.
I barely use the block because that takes down your stamina, so you'll get a stamina lock. But you definitely need to kind of, if something's about to hit you and there's no way of getting out of the way, you need to roll through it.
Thanks. I'll give that a go. I might. This evening I'm going to try and go through it a bit more, or at least level up. What level you were when you played that boss?
Ooh, I don't know. I'm not sure off the top of my head. It's not. You don't really see a level too much, I guess, do you? Because you just add it to different stats. But yeah, God, I bloody love this game.
Yeah, it reminds me of the beginning of Shadow of Mordor. That was the thing it reminded me of, where you're really underpowered and you've got to do lots of sneaking around. But if you are in a battle, you can. It feels really fun and really worthwhile. And I just like going around killing them. It's the battles, like the one-on-one battles, especially when the ones that you summon, when you summon a guy like another player who's died. That's for me. That's a better one-on-one than For Honor. I don't know if you've played For Honor, the beta. It's okay, but I prefer one-on-one battles in this game.
And there's so many of them. That map is just. What really you can probably tell from my tone. I'm quite excited about this game, and the reason is obviously I really like Dark Souls. I really like Bloodborne, but Bloodborne's one of my favorite games of all time at this point. But the major reason for that is the story. Now, Neo's story, I don't think is anything to write home about. Do you disagree?
I'm really involved in the story at the moment, but it depends where it goes from here, I think.
But it's very upfront, isn't it? It's very traditional storytelling. It's you start a new main level, they give you
I
a
understand
cutscene.
It, whereas in Souls games, not so much.
Yeah, sure. The big draw for me with Bloodborne was that I finished that game twice before I even really understood what that story was, and I still to this day will go to the Reddit and read lore theories on kind of what that story is and different characters and different items and what it could mean to the overall plot. I don't think that Neo is going to have that, and that's not a bad thing. What they've done is they've distilled the gameplay of the Souls games, really built a lot of stuff on top of it, and actually picked out a lot of really good ideas from other big games. So for instance, the loot stuff plays very much like Diablo in terms of that color-coded loot that it just drops constantly.
Yeah. And
most of it's nonsense, but a lot of the time you can sell that stuff on and use it to either upgrade or buy something better. Then you've got if you look at the world map on the left-hand side, every day it'll refresh to two different levels, but in a challenge mode. That's very Destiny. That's very much what Destiny does.
Yeah, I think I've got to the world map yet, have I? Because I haven't come out of... Or maybe I have, I don't know, I've not come out of...
You probably haven't, actually, because that mission that you're on now is that was the mission from the beta, wasn't it? So
was it? I don't know, I never played that.
Yeah, so once you defeat that boss, that's really when... And that's kind of why I was recommending just, I guess, try and solo it for now, because the game is still very much showing you, okay, this is what this game is about. But once you've done that, it's very simple. When I say a world map, I'm not talking Final Fantasy-esque 3D model around it. Not a list, but it's you get a visual representation of an actual map, and just different icons around it for different missions, and there are sub missions. So you'll go back to the main story maps and play in a sectioned off part to do a particular type of mission.
Yeah.
The replayability is going to be fantastic, and it seems to scale as well. So I've replayed missions with somebody else in the game, and the game makes it harder if you've got more than one person there.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
Really, really excited about Neo.
Arnie, are you fingering your phone?
I am doing things on my phone.
Oh,
Wow.
Does this game sound like something that you'd enjoy, Arnie?
I was listening. I was actually thinking it's a very interesting contrast to the types of video games I play, because I don't have that much time to devote to video gaming. I tend to play games that I can, really dip in and out of.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly.
What have you been playing this
so
week?
it is interesting hearing discussions about stories and how people actually engage with video games as maybe an art form beyond the very, very simple 5-10 minutes in and out sort of gaming that I do.
What games are you playing at the moment then, Arnie?
I currently have 2 games on the go.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, phone problems. Wait a sec. Talk.
Oh, don't worry.
Talk, I'm going to edit this out.
Okay, so Jordan, I think we're gonna maybe have more to talk about Neo next week, because I'm determined to get past that boss, and I'm honestly, like, every time when I go to work, I'm thinking, I want to go back and play Neo, but that was until I face this boss.
So I have 2 games on my go at the moment. Well, even maybe 3.
Rob asks if it's Car Mechanic Simulator 16.
Reference.
No. Genuinely enjoyable games, actually. Mobile phone gaming is my thing at the moment.
Clash of Clans, is it?
For commutes? No, it's not. So the old favourite 2048.
What?
2048 is a fantastic way to spend 20 minutes on the train. And you can spend a long time learning how to play that. It's a thoroughly enjoyable intellectual challenge.
Ugh.
So I'd recommend that.
Yeah.
What is 2048?
Yeah, can you
Sorry?
explain 2048, Tiny, to those of us who don't really care about intellectual
Frankly,
games?
I'm very surprised that neither of you know what 2048 is.
I think I played it when it was released about 5 years ago, and then haven't played it
game
since.
introduced to me by former podcaster Sausage Triss.
Oh, it was on the
That's
podcast.
a reference. Again, the Venn diagram for people listening to this and getting that reference. The circles probably don't even intersect.
Oh, I don't know. I'm there. I know.
Yeah, but do you listen to this?
Depends. If I want to see how much of a car crash it was, yes. So I'll probably
Out
listen
of
to
confidence. 2048 is a game where you're given a 4x4 square, and it's subdivided into 1x1 squares, and you have to connect tiles with a base value initially of 2 and then later of 4 together. And when the tiles connect to each other, their 2 values are added to each other. And you have to connect these tiles until you create one tile of the value 2048
Okay.
without having the board fill up. So it's a very interesting strategy game, and it's good to keep your mind active on a morning.
Yeah, it wakes you up, does it?
Exactly. Now, similarly, the fantastic Word Feud, which is a knockoff of Words with Friends,
Which is a
which
knockoff.
is a knockoff Scrabble. But there's enough distance there for it not to be taken off the Play Store. Word Feud's very, very good. And then I was introduced to a third mobile phone game over Christmas by a friend, a mutual friend of Ben and mine, chap who Ben spent his teenage years racially inappropriately referring to as Keith.
I didn't come up with that name. I think it was Sausage, our sausage friend, that came up with that.
Our sausage friend.
That sounds wrong.
His name's not Keith. Keith introduced me to a derivative of Risk, the very popular board game. And there's this knockoff Risk, which is called Rise Wars. Great fun.
Yeah. I've never played Risk.
You've never played Risk?
No.
I travelled to Germany and I was introduced to Risk in Germany. Everyone's very into it there. It's quite illustrative.
In Spain, they like Catan. Have you ever played Catan, or whatever it is? Catan?
Settlers of Catan.
Sorry? Yeah, that's the one.
Settlers of Catan. I have, actually, yes.
Any good?
Yeah, I recall it being reasonably enjoyable. I don't play many games, although I did go through a spell. I had some friends, and still do, but I don't see them as much as they've moved down south, who played quite a lot of board games. And I did periodically see them, and I think they may have introduced me to that board game.
Has Moody Cal gone down south?
The problem with board games is that I get a little bit too into them, and I don't think people enjoy playing against me, as I tend to win in quite mean and in ways that make people no longer enjoy the gaming process.
You're quite mean, are you?
I am.
Did Moody Carl move down south?
No.
Oh, I thought you meant him when you talking about. Have you ever played Dungeons and Dragons, Arnie? You should play that.
No, I've not played that. I have a broad social circle, Ben.
Yeah.
Surprising, I know, but it's true.
Oh. Well, that sounds quite interesting. So you haven't been playing the new or the latest car mechanic simulator? Because
I haven't.
There's a new similar one out called My Summer Car. Have you heard of it?
I haven't, no.
This is one where you actually build a car in the Swedish countryside, and you get to drive around.
Is that a common location for car construction?
Sorry?
Is that a common location for car construction?
It must be, but I've seen clips of it, and you can actually die of thirst if you don't drink beer. And once you've drunk a lot of beer, you can pee. So it's like drink, pee, and build a car. That's kind of the theme of it.
Manly. That sounds fantastically masculine.
You'll have to give it a go.
It?
Rob asks
we should be in Sweden in the summer, wearing a string vest, building a car, drinking, urinating, drinking. Well, on a separate note, do people actually listen to this?
Yeah, we've got a few listeners.
If so, do people? Do we you have comments coming in as the thing is broadcast?
I was about to say we've got one. Do you want me to give you the website? So, no, when maybe next week, I'll give you the link if you're on your PC. Then, are you going to be back with us next week?
I'm beyond PCs, Ben. I'm Mac all the way now.
Oh, I don't know what's happened to you.
You've changed. When I'm on my MacBook Pro, I can have a look.
Do you drink skinny Frappuccino lattes as well and hang out in... Do you take it to Starbucks and pretend you're writing a novel?
I do go to Starbucks semi-regularly with my fashionable short back and sides but long on my top haircut and public relations career, which is all very strange and surprising, really.
How's your novel coming along?
No, I don't drink coffee.
How's your novel coming along? Do you only write it when you're in Starbucks?
One day.
Rob has sent us a message saying, when's the next Click Click Play Monopoly night?
Never.
Well,
answer that one.
We are in 3 different countries as well, which makes it a little bit more difficult.
Robin, great question.
I think he's just called Rob.
Oh, I thought you said Robin.
No.
Come on, Ben, enunciate.
It's a good job I'm not an English teacher.
Great question. I make the comment that I made earlier that I would either win Monopoly in such a way that Jordan and Ben would not enjoy the game and the process, or be really pedantic when I started losing and drag it on until they got tired of playing. So it's probably best that we don't play.
Talking of being pedantic, you just said we're in 3 different countries, Ben. What 3 different countries are we in?
Wales, England, and Spain.
Sorry. Wales, Yorkshire, and Spain.
Yeah.
I think you'll find my country's the United Kingdom.
Oh, all right.
I'm also open to Spain, United Kingdom, and Yorkshire if we're going to do that.
That's up to you.
Jordan, are you only saying that because you lost the rugby yesterday?
I didn't know there was rugby on.
No, me neither. Okay, so they're the games that well, to be honest, I've been playing a lot of Hitman as well before Neo came out, because Neo was on. Well, I think I got it on Wednesday, but before then, I managed to finish off the main missions of Hitman. Went back and I got level 20 mastery in Paris. Then it unlocks the professional mode. Now I played the professional mode and it was there are like when you play Hitman, you can finish the mission by you can quite easily on the normal mode. You can do it really quickly. Like if you know what to do, where to go, it's really really easy. But professional mode kind of changes that. The easy way's in, so there's like a waiter that always goes into the car park on his own, and you can whack him over the head and take his clothes, and then you can just wander in easily. He doesn't go he doesn't go there anymore, so you got to find alternate ways in, and you can only save it once through the whole mission. And to say that a mission can last about an hour and a half, it's pretty annoying if you get caught or you die after about 30-45 minutes and you haven't saved it and you have to go all the way back. So I'm not a massive fan of the professional mode. I think I'll just stick to the normal mode and try and get mastery, because I've been doing quite a bit on Sapienza, which is the second map. And it's great because the mastery, you have to do all these, you have to kill them in all different ways, so you're approaching the maps totally differently every time. I've watched a couple of streamers. I found out there was a wall you could breach to get into the laboratory right at the beginning, which saved me a lot of time. So yeah, the way you can what you can do with that game is just incredible. Have you been playing it anymore, Jordan?
No, I've put it away. I've decided that due to my gaming diary of the next few months, my plan with Hitman is to break that back out when the new one's on is it season 2? I guess whenever season 2 is on the horizon, yeah. I'll get back in. I've barely played this one, so I'll play that one at that point. I've got a question for you though. I know you're a fan of it.
Yes.
But legitimate question: is this Hitman game overrated?
No. I don't know. I've played one or two of the old Hitman games. I got a bit bored, but just for me, it's my type of game. It's not intense, really. You can be if you want to be, but it's just you chill. You wait for everything to fall into place, and you've got full control most of the time. So you can there's just so much to do on every map as well, especially Sapienza. It's I didn't even realize there was a bay area, and I'd been playing that game. I played that map maybe 10 times and didn't even realize you could go to this the harbour. I just thought it was a big a massive some guy's massive house.
But is it the best game of 2016?
For me, it was the best game of 2016. However, if playing Neo so far, that would have maybe challenged it from what I've played so far and what I've seen of people playing. So I don't know.
I'm really surprised how much you enjoy Neo. Do you think you'll like persevere with it? And
yeah, I think
obviously you're up against the boss now, but you'll stick to it.
I will stick to it.
Wow.
I think when I get to bosses I can't beat, I'll just call in people.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, of course.
I love going around. I like slowly, because even as I was obviously terrible playing at the beginning, and when I got to this little village where we're going through, I was dying again and again and again. But every time I'd get a bit further and a bit further, and I just really really enjoy that. There was always a reason to do it. There was always a reason to play it and to click retry. Whereas it wasn't just I've just wasted the last 20 minutes, which I really like. The boss though is a bit like that. However, you can grind and do stuff, but once the boss is gone, I'm sure it'll make the game even better.
So
I was interested. Sorry, Jordan. I was interested to hear you both talking about the video game Hitman.
Yes.
Which I've never played, surprisingly. However, I was perusing a social network the other week, and I noticed a fabulous video. Not Grindr. Would you define Grindr as a social network?
I don't know. I'm sure it's very social.
Well, you do have first-hand experience, don't you? I was perusing a social network, and I found a fabulous video game-related video.
Okay.
It was Hitman, staged in real life. And the Hitman was controlled by Paul and Barry Chuttle of the Chuttle Brothers. And it's fabulously funny, and I would recommend the listener to go onto YouTube and type in
after the show
Hitman Chuttle Brothers, Oh, no. This is the high point, I think, for the podcast.
I
It's
will
very, very
find that video and I will retweet it from the Click Play.
find and watch it, as it is deeply, deeply funny.
Yeah.
So funny story. I'm going to see the Chuckle Brothers on Friday.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
They're hosting a bingo night in Cardiff, so I'm going to pop along.
Of course.
What?
That is fabulous.
Am I in like another reality here?
Oh dear,
so
oh dear.
pleased.
Oh, dear.
I am so pleased they're both still alive as well. As there
Yeah.
was that awful rumour that kept resurfacing about one of them suffering from a terrible illness
Yeah.
or being dead,
Yeah,
which
that's-
seems to pop up in the internet every 6 months or so. So that is great news.
The worst thing is that the worst thing is when one of them does die, it'll be just for about a few hours. People going, "No, it's a hoax." 'Cause they're the ones
you
that just constantly.
must feed back. You're right. People will call it a hoax even when it's not. But you must feed back as to the quality of their appearance. The other thing, I've got some more Chuckle Brothers insight for you both and for the listener. I will just verify this on the internet before I report it, as you know, fake news is a big issue at the moment. So let me just check. Talk amongst yourselves.
Actually, another anecdote. A mutual friend of mine and Arnie's had her shoe signed by a Chuckle Brother, and yeah, that's the anecdote. That was it.
Just to allow me to verify this, do either of you remember what the chap was called? The one who said no slacking?
No.
No, but I know which one you mean. But no, I don't know. Rob says explosive golf balls from in Hitman. Yes, although there's an achievement to kill the main guy or to kill one of the guys with an exploding golf ball, and I suffocated him, so he wasn't dead. He was just out. Then threw an exploding golf ball at him, killed him, but it didn't get that. So I think I've got to do the whole scenario with the explosive golf ball, where you become his golf instructor, and then he hits the ball and kaboom, which is probably better because I'm looking forward to playing that. Oh, go on then, Arnie.
I found this story on the Metro, so I'll consider it a legitimate source. The no slacking man, who is 84 years old. For those of you who don't watch Chuckle Vision, this chap played the villain to an extent.
Oh, was it Dan the Man?
It wasn't Dan the Van. No, Dan the Van was off screen. He never actually appeared, from what I recall. No, he's just known as the no slacking man, according to the Mail. According to the Metro. The no slacking man is 84, and he has just married a Chuckle Vision fan who's 25.
Oh God.
Oh, well, that's England for you.
The two began courting one another after his now fiancée, Amy Phillips, commented on one of his Facebook posts. Patton, whose wife died 5 years ago, said, "It just went from there. I never thought I would find this kind of love again."
How rich is he? From Chuckle Vision? I can't imagine.
Make that much money for being the no slacking man on Chuckle Vision.
No. For those of you who are American and watching or listening, Chuckle Vision is a kids TV TV show, and it's got a couple of very unusual guys. Are they Barnsley fans? Oh, no, Rotherham. Sorry, yeah, no. I knew there was a reason I hated them. Rotherham fans. Okay.
Hate's an ugly emotion, Ben.
Yeah. Oh, Jordan, we need to get onto the news.
Click and play news.
Oh, it's like I can't believe you had that already.
Yeah,
Jordan.
I said click and play news as well, which is not the name of the podcast.
No. Click. Well, I just started typing Pretty Flycast because for those of you who don't know, we used to be called the Pretty Flycast last year.
Stick on brand.
But not now. We are the Click Play podcast.
Why was this rebranded?
Just felt like and also there was trouble getting Click Play. No, prettyflycast.com and prettyflygaming.com. We didn't know which to stick it with. So yeah, this is the new Click Play podcast. Do you like it, Arnie?
it's it's a perfectly good name. Good.
So, do you have any video game news, Arnie?
Well, I've just done my news bit about the no slacking man.
That's definitely a video game related.
Come back to me.
Okay.
I'll have some, I'm sure.
Oh, and if you want to play a video game on your phone, you should download Super Mario Run.
Okay. I will consider that.
And tell us how it is, because
Mario.
Tell us how it is, because I don't have it, because I don't have an iPhone. I'm not
Neither
one of those
do I.
sheeple. All right. Oh, well, you can get it on your iPad, I think.
Okay. All right.
So, Jordan, do we have any news?
We do. Arnie, if you've got an iPad and you like Risk games, there's a game that I love called Strategery.
Okay.
Basically a Risk clone. One of my favorite games of all time. Check that one out.
Is that Jerry, Gerry?
No, so let me just.
It's an anti-German one.
Let me just make sure I get the spelling right. Yeah, so it's Strategery, Strategery.
I will take that recommendation and I will download it and feedback.
Lovely jubbly. Okay, news then. Seems like a slow week. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but nothing really stood out. So I've got 2 news pieces for us to talk about today. First of all, Ben, have you ever wanted to go to the E3 conference?
Yes. Who wouldn't?
Is that a genuine answer?
I think thinking about it, maybe not, but it would. Of course, it would be. I'm sure fun to go, but not if there were people from the public there. I'd hate that.
Well, bad news, because this will be the first year that it's going to open its doors to the public. I say first year, maybe that happened in the past. E3's a long-running show, but certainly this year, which is a break from recent tradition at least, it's going to be open to consumers.
But how many people? It's not many, is it?
I don't know in terms of number. Oh, I've got the number in front of me. It's 15,000.
Oh, okay, that's more than I thought.
And tickets will go on sale for $250.
Would you go there, Jordan?
No, I wouldn't go in like a layman capacity, I guess. If I was in the industry and I had a need to go there, then yeah, I would. And I'd quite enjoy it. But if I was just going there and having to queue and things like that, no, I wouldn't. I'd rather. We've got to the point where it's better just to watch it at home. The conferences are so you can watch them in HD live now. You might as well just kind of sit back and crack a few beers and watch Sony.
Did you
talk
know?
About the new games.
Did you know, Jordan, that we can? Last year they could on Twitch. They can stream. You can restream the conference with your own reaction.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that this year. That'll be fun.
That'll be good. It's in June, isn't it?
Saying that though, it's going to be like stupid o'clock in the morning.
It is going to be stupid.
I don't know. Is it?
They normally. There's normally one that's okay at a normal time, and I think it's Sony that's at 8 p.m. in LA, which is like 4 a.m. here.
Yeah, can't do that.
Yeah, we'll do 1 or 2 that we've seen.
Yeah,
that are at normal times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. And the second bit of news.
What are you looking forward to at E3? What are you expecting at E3?
Just new games, really. It's just always exciting to see the big 3 in my mind, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, and just seeing what new IPs they're looking to reveal. From a Nintendo perspective, by that point I'll have the new console, and it's sorely lacking from a software perspective. So I'm hoping that they'll announce some big hitters, maybe Smash Brothers. And then for Sony, I think they're really hitting their stride now. PS4's a really mature console at this point, selling by the bucket load still. They're not going to have a shortage of first and third party releases that they'll want to hype. And then Microsoft's obviously potentially talking about a new console, so this one should be a pretty exciting one. But in terms of overall excitement, I would probably say I'm trying to think of some big developers that should have something brewing at the moment. Maybe a bit more Red Dead if it's there, but I think Rockstar maybe hopefully Red Dead would be there. Yeah, that'd be nice to see.
I'd like to see a Shadow of Mordor sequel.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That's kind of quiet on that front. If Sony came out with Bloodborne 2, I'd probably piss myself a little bit.
Oh, well, we'll hold you to that.
Yep.
Rob suggested having an E3 sleepover party with you.
Okay. Sausage friend.
Sausage party.
Yeah.
Arnie. Do we still have Arnie? I think we've lost Arnie.
He loves E3, Arnie.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we've lost Arnie. But John, what's the second piece of news?
Follows on quite nicely to that, really. The new Legend of Zelda game has gone gold. It is done. It is ready.
Oh, I need to tell you. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get the Switch.
Oh, you dirty bastards.
But
nice one.
Not the beginning of March, at the beginning of April.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I'm going on holiday for 5-6 days to the beach, but it's going to be quite boring. So I thought I'd get my Switch. Get my Switch on. Play a bit of Zelda.
And take it to the beach?
Well, no, just the apartment and the beach.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Maybe taking it on the... No, that'd be terrible. Terrible idea. Sand and all that.
I just can't wait to get that thing in my hands. It looks really nice to like hold and just play like a big game experience on. I've ordered a Pro controller as well, and I was kind of thinking, well, obviously I'll be playing Zelda on my TV, but more and more I think about it, the more and more I'm like, maybe I'll keep the TV for playing Horizon, and then just take Zelda away to like, you know, when I'm sitting in bed or when I'm putting in time with the missus, you know.
Oh, all right. That's what you call it. On putting in time, yeah, I think that's one thing with Neo. Actually, I was just thinking of Horizon Zero Dawn coming out. Neo it's going to keep me occupied for the next 2.5 weeks, and then as soon as Horizon Zero Dawn comes out, I'm going to try and blitz through that. Unless I don't like it, but I'm definitely going to be playing that as much as possible. I
think you'll like it.
I'm going to save Mass Effect probably for a few. I say that I'm going to save Mass Effect till the summer. I just know. The first day I'll end up being like, oh, I might buy this. But
you bought Neo, you're going to buy Mass Effect.
Yeah, that's true. But Neo just, at least, yeah, it's a good game. Very good game. Anything else?
News-wise, I didn't really see anything else that stood out. It's all the usual bullshit.
John, do you have a smartwatch?
I've had one. I don't own one currently.
No. Oh, what do they like? Because people are still talking about them, according to Reddit.
People are still talking about them. I had.
Why don't you have it anymore?
I had it for about 3 days and then just sold it. It was nice. It was really cool. The whole having to. When I wear a watch, I like it to be waterproof, and I basically never take it off.
Yeah.
And it was kind of weird for me having to, one, take it off to get in the shower or the bath, and two, having to take it off every night to charge. I know that sounds like a small thing, but it kind of felt like another phone having to charge every night. So I don't know. I'll wait for I think in the future at some point, I'm quite convinced that potentially wearable tech will replace having kind of phones. Okay. So that's quite a clumsy solution to have something that you have to keep in your pocket separate. I think at some point, I guess, and it takes up. I wear quite tight jeans and it takes up a lot of space.
Not as tight as Arnie, I'm sure.
Probably not. It's how you fill them, though, isn't it? So, Rob's just commented there. LG Watch R is the one that I had, which at the time, I think was like that was kind of known as this is the one to get. Since then, the Apple Watch has come out, so I don't know how that's kind of changed the market. For me, it's not there right now. When the processing power is local to the watch, which I think they've announced maybe the first one, I maybe read the other day. But when that stuff starts happening and they become a little bit more robust, maybe I'll get into it. Are you thinking of one?
No. I've not really any interest whatsoever in smartwatches, but I just saw one on a webpage just then, and I thought, I bet you know something about them. John, I forgot to tell you, I did buy a game the week before last, so you weren't there when I was discussing it, and it's a game that I kind of regret buying because it's a bit crap. Star Citizen.
You bought Star Citizen?
Yeah.
How much? Okay, so in pounds, how much did you pay for Star Citizen?
Maybe 50.
Wow.
It was.
But that's not a game yet, Ben.
It was a bad decision.
What did you get for your £50 then?
I got a ship.
Right.
I
Did you get a game to play it in?
No. I got a hangar where I walked, and it took me about an hour to work out how to summon the ship in there. And then I can't even go in the ship. Then I went to a spaceport where there are no NPCs. So you just walk around. And that's it. And then I think there are space battles and there's FPS, but I see quite a lot of people like having crashes and stuff doing that. But apparently this year 3.0 is due out, and apparently that's meant to be amazing and it's going to save it and all this. But well,
I've called bullshit on this game for a long time.
Yeah.
The game is pretty much what everybody that's a nerd like me wants. Don't get me wrong. We all want this. We all grew up thinking, oh god, I really want that game where I get into a ship and I fly off to a different planet and then I can get out and then I'm shooting everything. You know, this one-stop shop for all these different gaming experiences. And I appreciate that they want to do that. I just have no faith that they'll be able to. And even if they can, I think the amount of time that they're taking to do it is a bit of a piss take, and the amount of money that they've taken in trying to do it again is a bit of a piss take. I haven't seen what's the latest amount that they've raised, because I remember a couple of years ago, every couple of months it used to be like they've raised £100 million and
I've no
150 million.
Oh, I've no idea.
Where's the fucking game is my question. I still haven't seen the fucking game.
I kind of think I could have probably spent, put that money into a better game. But Manny's a big fan of it, and I see how his passion and love for that game, which kind of.
What does he do? What does he spend his time doing in it?
Usually space battles with other ships, multiplayer, or the first-person shooter. But Destiny has a better first-person shooter multiplayer. A lot better.
I imagine there's a lot of games with better first-person multiplayer mechanics than Star Citizen.
Rob says 130 million.
Wow. Still no game.
No. And he's trying to get back on. His phone crashed.
I bet he plays Star Citizen.
I will bet he would. He'd just walk around the hangar being like, "Oh, this is nice."
Oh.
But yeah, no, that was a stupid decision. And I wish I could get a refund.
Well, I suppose, so that 50 quid, does that mean you're in on that game now?
Yeah.
Forever,
One day. But I also paid for so it included in that package was the story mission. The only problem is, the only problem is that I didn't realise that the story mission hasn't been made yet. No, but the story mission hasn't been made yet. That's the problem. So I was expecting,
what do you mean?
I thought, okay, well, I know it's probably going to be just one story mission or something like that. So I said, well, maybe it does exist, but I have absolutely no idea how to find it. So I just thought
the story mission.
Yeah, at the moment, I think there is a story, or it's a mission with a story, but I don't think it's playable yet. I don't know. It might be. I might just not have been able to find it. Oh, another game, Jordan, I got, which I really enjoy, Diablo 3.
Yeah, I like Diablo. Well, I say I like Diablo, right? Mm-hmm. I bought it when it came to PS4. I always quite fancied it. When I was, if you go back maybe 3-4 years ago before I met my missus, I used to fantasize about building a gaming PC or buying a gaming PC anyway. And one of the games I used to fantasize playing was Diablo. I don't know why, because I've never played them before, but I was like, oh yeah, I'd really like to build a gaming PC. And then I played Diablo, which is really weird actually, because that's not like, as much as that wasn't on consoles, that's probably not what you want to be thinking of when you actually get this blazing hot PC. But regardless, I always wanted to play it. When it came to PS4, I played it, and I kind of played it wrong. I just went through the story once and was like, okay, but that's not what that game is. That game's about replayability and going through those missions again and getting better loot and co-oping and things like that. A lot of stuff that they've built into Neo.
Yeah, I think I really like Diablo. It's one of those games that you can just chill and relax with, and it's got a nice, easy story to go along with. I played, I think I mentioned it before, I played Pit People.
Yeah, you did mention that, yeah.
That was awesome. And I got Total War Warhammer.
Yeah, any good?
Yeah, I actually really liked it. It's one of those games, though, I'd quite like to sit down and play for a whole day. Because I just know, because it keeps drawing me in and I want to play more, and there's loads of mechanics. Because I'm not somebody that's played Total War games before, so I really want to get into it. But as of recording, I think for the next couple of weeks, if you go on the Humble Bundle monthly and you pay $12, you can get it for free, plus the games that are in the March Humble Monthly Bundle. You can get those when they're released in March. And apparently,
it's a good deal.
People have been saying Humble Bundle's been all right recently. They've been had some decent games. Also, I think there's... Oh no, I got another one that had Tales of Zestiria or something like that. What else did I get? I got another thing as well. Or something I was going to talk about. Yeah, no, there is some news. I forgot. There has been a delay in a game. Again. Do you know this game?
I remember a story the other day about a delay of a game that's been delayed before. What was it?
It's
Go on.
South Park.
Yes.
Till the next financial year, which could be from the end, well, from the 1st of April, I'm guessing, until... Is it 1st of March or 1st of April? It could be. I think it's 1st of April. It could be until the obviously the 1st of April next year. So it's a very wide window.
It's just the same story as the first game, really. That was delayed forever as well.
Yeah. Oh, Arnie, are you with us? He says he's on this call. Arnie, can you hear us?
Fucking seance.
Yeah. Arnie, hum. You just draw a pentagram on the floor and he'll appear. So, are you gonna be getting that, Jordan?
I haven't finished the first one, to be honest. I'm kind of over South Park.
Yeah. I've not played the first one. I've got the first one. I got it really, really cheaply, so I'm going to play that before it's out, which is good because it's given me a bit more time to play it. And I saw that the game takes about 12 to 14 hours to finish. So that's like a good weekend. I can finish that, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll play a bit of that. Just see Arnie's... currently, he's in the chat, but we can't hear him at the moment. He's typing, though. So we'll see what that's like. But, yeah, hopefully we can get Arnie back next week as well. Have that. Arnie says, I give up. We had a good run. Let's do it next week when I'm on the laptop. It's been quite fun. Well, quite fun. That is quite an endorsement from Arnie.
Yeah.
We do have some news, actually, for website news. Click Click Play has a subreddit. So if you want to post any articles or any news or anything interesting you find on the interwebs and you want us to discuss it, just pop along, go to the Reddit. It's reddit.com/r/ well, the Click Click Play is the name of the subreddit, and it'll be useful for us to be able to find stuff that we want to talk about. Have you posted anything, Jordan?
No.
No, every single thing on there is posted by me.
You're a social media guy.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm a lurker. I'm always on Reddit, but I'm lurking.
I actually posted a link to an article about how annoying Piers Morgan was, and my karma went from something like 27 to right now it's 447. So
I've got karma. Don't get me wrong. I've got some karma.
I've got
6,516 karma.
Oh, you're better than me then.
I've had a couple of big hitters
a
couple of years ago, but nothing since.
No. Well, so yeah, go on to that. If you also go on clickclickplay.com and you can find all the old podcasts. You can find us also on iTunes at Click Click Play, and the link on the clickclickplay.com will send it to your RSS reader too. Sorry we're a bit delayed today, that's why it's a little bit shorter as well. Next week I'm going to use WebEx because the quality might not have been as good today, but it will be better next week when we use the WebEx, because also Arnie should be able to use it as well instead of his Argos phone. Alright, so I think, do you have anything else to say, Jordan?
Is Arnie back on the team?
Arnie is back on the team.
Wow.
So it'll be us three. Plus, we should be able to hopefully get like the odd guest in every now and again as well.
I always wonder why Arnie cares about this. It seems like he's totally below him.
Yeah, Arnie doesn't care about it. I just think he's got nothing better to do on a Sunday night. And we used to chat many times when I was back in the UK. So he gets to chat to me. That's the only reason he comes.
As long as I get to hear his stories, I'm happy. So whatever his motives, I'm happy to take part.
Yeah, he brings a unique perspective to video games with his Scrabble and what was the other one he was playing? Numbers, like adding numbers up.
24095.
That was it. Oh, you just said your password. Rob says just quickly on there, PM hate train is strong. PM, what's PM? Piers Morgan. It is strong.
Yeah.
Justifiably strong. And it says that you're on Redhead's GW.
No.
What's GW? Redheads Go Wild?
I guess.
Picture of you up on the top of Mount Kilimanjaro.
Fingering myself.
I wondered why they took that picture off Facebook. All right, well, that's an hour. I think that's an hour. That's enough.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want any more. Nobody wants more. Yeah. An hour is enough of your time to be taken. If you got this far, then congratulations. So I will see you same place, not same time, a little bit earlier next time. Me, Ben, him, Jordan, and the one that decided to give up halfway through, Arnie, we'll all be back next Sunday for episode 5. That's a landmark episode of the Click Click Play podcast. Bye bye.
Ta-ta.